Welcome to the Coach Scofray podcast, where I'm committed to bring you deeper insights that is focused on creating some shifts in your mindsets, in your attitude and behavior. Because my quest is to experience you live your life in its fruitfulness, in its wholesomeness. Because it is in there that together we make meaningful impact in this world we live in. We have been on the journey of driven by purpose and passion, and today we are almost getting there. We will call it a wrap. Maybe after this particular one, the following one will be bringing it all together. But today we are looking at purpose and passion in leadership. Today that's what we are looking at. Purpose and passion in leadership. When we cast our mind back to COVID 2020-2021, you notice that research says the more we were locked down, the more domestic and spousal abuse soared, because we were using work as an escape route from unresolved domestic relationships, domestic situations. And it is also one of the reasons why we left our leaders behind in seeking their well-being. The world also, in the crave for productivity, have created a space where command control has become the order of the day. And corporates are spending so much money. I think the last time I checked, burnout alone cost the globe $9 billion. Burnout alone cost the globe $9 billion. Imagine what we can do as a corporate sector with $9 billion if we are able to reduce the surge of burnout across board. Just imagine. Because there are still many places on this earth that need so many things, fundamental things. Access to quality education, access to food security, access to fundamental human rights, access to so many things that we could do with $9 billion. Yet, that is the cost, the global cost for burnout. So that is how come purpose and passion for leadership or in leadership is important on this particular episode. We say purpose basically is being intentional and attentional in a certain level of stability, harmony, rhythm, and balance in the long term, even beyond our existence, such that we will feel fulfilled, satisfied when we are not even here. That is why purpose is important. And we also have explained that passion is the energy we use to drive our purpose. But the challenge we are facing, which I have enumerated in one of the episodes, is that we've more or less chased purpose out of the boardroom. We've chased purpose out of leadership. We've chased purpose out of businesses, and we've left it with the frenzy, the fixation of dopamine, which is purely energy. So some of the common diseases found, and I think corporate have not come to the place where they will do research on when people go on retirement, what are the diseases that their past staff get to treat. That will give us a glimpse, because the office where leaders who are of the dark tetrad personality orientation are leading we tend to forget, or we are not able to look beyond and realize that something is happening. So a leader with purpose and passion will be people-centered and be the source of energy to get the job done. And we've already also discussed the neurochemistry, so I won't belabor it. I won't go deep into that today. But I just want to bring us to the place that when we are talking about purpose and passion in leadership, what we are saying is that the neurochemistry of leadership. Do you know how I call it? Neuro-authentic leadership. Why is neuro-authentic leadership important? In the neuro-authentic leadership, through M-braining, we bring our heart brain to the table, which is in charge of our values, which is in charge of our purposes, which is in charge of the meaning we bring to life, which is in charge of coherence and all that. Then we also bring to the table our gut brain. Remember, I've explained that purpose shapes our identity. Purpose shapes our identity. Purpose aids us to have our emotions regulated. That is how come serotonin is important. So if you are a leader that lacks emotional regulation, your purpose is absent. Yeah. Then we bring the head brain. So that when the three brains come together and they come to a place of coherence, each of them are able to maximize their prime functions. And when all this come to a place and we repeat that pattern of working, living in our coherent prime function, what comes out as authenticity. That is how come the Spain emotional research place authenticity as the number one required for leaders. And when a leader walks in his or her authenticity, Gabriel Cram used some example called the eyes, the gaseous state, and the liquid states. The states, I call them the states of leadership. If you are able to harness nature, flourish, and thrive in authenticity, the context in which you show up as leader is still anchored in your purpose and in your passion, your values, and in your energy. It will show up and hold you up high. But when you lack the grounding of these, you are a recipe for disaster. You are a recipe for disaster. I need to give credence to entrepreneur Mark Dickin and your colleague Mark for that incredible behavioral team matrix you have designed. Because what this matrix does is that it allows businesses to know the behavioral matrix of their leaders. Because it gets us to know, because it is so cool to have the mission statement, so cool to have the values, so cool to have the vision and all that, the objectives and goals. But we forget that those are mere words. They don't have life and spirit in them. And it takes your leaders and your staff to bring life and spirit to the corporate vision, mission, objectives, and goals. When was the last time you asked your leaders, when you are transitioning them from one role to the another, or in employment, when you ask them, what is the purpose of your life? And listen to how they will struggle. Because you cannot talk of a purpose you have not lived. You cannot speak of a purpose you are not authentic with. It is not just grammar. It's not just grammar recital. It is something when you evoke, it gives you grounding. It gives you connection. When connection come online, the endogenous opioids fire you into greatness. Your neurochemistry are in the right balance with each other for you to live your purpose in the face of the challenges, in the face of everything. And we know, we say we are in the VUCA world, we are in the bunny world. And the kind of leaders we need to shift this bunny world are basically leaders who are driven neurologically by authenticity. Basically, is your leadership authentic? Is your corporate culture, your team spirit, is it authentic? What is the microcosm, that microcosm purpose and passion of your team? How does it tie up into the larger corporate one? And remember, that team purpose and mission is the collective. There's something we call the collective effervescence, where the team evokes its own identity as driven by their purpose and fired by their passion. So it connects to the larger purpose of the business. So people don't only work, people use work. People use the job. People use their profession and career as the conduit to live purposefully, fired by the energy of passion. What is? So many leaders are highly driven, yet burn out. Others are deeply values driven, yet they lack momentum. So it is the right calibration, integration, and coherence of your purpose and your passion that gets you to leave. There are some leaders, when they are exiting, when their tenure in office are over and they are exiting, it's as if the spirit and the soul of the business is being taken away. That is what we are talking about. Authenticity. Few questions to ask to checkmate your authentic leadership. Are your decisions guided by your values? The decision you take, are they guided by your values and the larger value of the business? Does your presence contribute beyond your personal success? Are you emotionally regulated and when you are under pressure? Do you make effort to reflect on the long-term influence and impact on your teams of how you show up as a leader? Are you in balance, harmony, and rhythm with your team? Purpose and passion in leadership. The new authenticity required. I am Scofray Nanaya Yabua, a transformational executive coach, master certified coach with the International Coaching Federation, MBET, multiple brain integration techniques, master coach and trainer with a license to train and certify MBET coaches. I am committed to your commitment of growth, development, to live your purpose. Let us grow together. Share, connect, and let's build a thriving, flourishing humankind and universe. Thank you for watching.